I'll never forget that time when I heard that phrase, Houston, we have a problem. I was 12 years old, glued to the TV set. And I know many of you weren't even born then. But when I was 12 years old, I too wanted to be an astronaut. And when I heard that they had this grave problem, an oxygen tank had blown off the side of their command module as they were going to the moon for the third time to hopefully walk on that moon once again. I'll never forget those grainy black and white pictures of the control room with the engineers with the button-down white shirts and the skinny black ties, crew cuts, and smoking nonstop as they're trying to figure out how they're going to keep those astronauts safe. This was a grave time for the world. And actually, the world came together. The Pope asked everyone to pray for these three astronauts, to pray for a safe return. Like many people, we waited with bated breath on just what was going to happen next. Now, the engineers came up with a solution because with the oxygen tank being blown apart, 3 people had to fit into a 2-person module. This was originally intended for the landing module to be on the moon. And now, for the safety of the astronauts, they had to put 3 into a compartment for 2. As they were consuming the oxygen, the carbon dioxide came out and they were getting, well, a little groggy. And the engineers came up with a solution of a foam cube and a small fan. And this purified the air, lessened the moisture, and actually added to the success of these astronauts landing safely. This was a unique time. We were at war, or somewhat at war with Russia. We weren't getting along with everyone, but yet with those 3 astronauts in peril, everyone came together. As a 12-year-old boy, once again, this was very impressionable. Now, there was another young little boy by the name of Neil Comparto. He felt the same emotions, but he remembered that cube that the engineers down in NASA at Houston developed to purify the air. 51 years ago, in April 1970, this all happened. And Neil Comparto is now an HVAC engineer, heating, ventilating, and air conditioning. And he modified that cube that the engineers in Houston came up with to help save those astronauts. He calls his invention or his modification the Comparto cube. And today, I'm going to show you how to make one. I did a little pre-construction. And one of the biggest tools, as everyone knows, when there's an emergency, is duct tape. Steve Smith, you might know him as Red Green. He has a handyman corner. And he says, if the women don't find you handsome, at least they can find you handy as long as you have duct tape. So I have done some pre-construction. And what you need to make a Comparto cube is 4 20 by 20 by 2 inch filters. To get the correct filter to take the bacteria out of the air, and we're trying to take COVID-19 out of the air, you have to have a filter rating of a MERV 13. This is the international rating for filters. MERV means minimum efficiency value. For $45, you can get 4 of these filters. Then what you need, and you have to maybe either dig in your closet like I did, is get that old box fan out that you used to use in the old days, maybe at the dormitory. I've got one just over here. This is the driver. So you take the 4 filters, make sure the arrows are pointing in to the center of the box. I took the box and then I blanked off the bottom. Take your box filter, which is also 20 by 20 inches. Take your duct tape. Duct tape, by the way, was invented in 1943 by a woman who had 2 sons in the Navy. They used it for bandages and patching boats. If you don't have duct tape handy, you need some. Once again, I did some pre-construction. And we're building the Comparte cube. All right. So this will take out 85% of the particulate, 0.3 micron, and it is actually made to take bacteria out. Now, some of you that have worked at Mayo Clinic have seen some of the same similar sized stainless steel cubes. They are more of the medical grade, and now they will cost you around $1,700. I've made this for under $90. And now comes the test. Toastmasters, that is the Comparte cube. I'm now breathing fresh, COVID-free air that you can make for under $90. When you hear this saying, Houston, we have a problem, or United States, China, the world, we have a problem, this pandemic, what can we do? Think of the solution. Think of the engineers down in Houston. Come up with your own solution, just as Neil Comparte did with the Comparte cube. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.